Hi Andre, how's it going?
Hey Sid, everything is great around here. How about you?
I'm good. How are things in Madeira?
Good, good. Wonderful. Great weather today,
Mm-hmm.
27 degrees. Uh, the COVID situation around here is a bit more controlled than most countries in the world. We only
Right.
have 5 cases at the moment. I know, unfortunately, there it's not that good, but let's let's pray that it gets better everywhere.
That's wonderful to know. And are you able to go out and play sports, or you still have to stay at home?
No, no, no. In Madeira, on our island, we have some measures, of course, wearing the mask and to enter the shops,
Mm-hmm.
to ride the buses and everything. Regarding sports, individual sports,
Right.
there's no actual limitation. Regarding sports with more than two players, there are some limitation regarding the areas,
Mm-hmm.
the cleaning of the fields and everything. Football itself has started over a month ago,
Right.
the trainings. So
Right.
we are coming back to life as we know it.
Wonderful to hear.
Yeah,
And so you had mentioned you're a handball. You used to play handball.
exactly, exactly.
Great. So
I did.
yeah. So when did you get started? Like, tell us about your journey.
Okay, so I started as a football player when I was four,
Mm-hmm.
up to 12 years old. All
Mm-hmm.
of a sudden, I understood that my feet weren't that good, so I changed to playing sports with the hand.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Then listen, by mistake, my mother thought she was signing me into a basketball club,
Uh-huh.
but it was a handball club, so it was by mistake. But then I
Yeah.
I loved the experience. It was a completely new sport for me.
Mm-hmm.
Fell in love. Was a great passion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then played it for 6 years. When I was 18, I achieved the professional level.
Right.
Played played in the regional team. Then on most of my career, I played in second and third division Portugal
Wow.
divisions. At
Uh-huh.
the same time, I was studying in the university.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, sports is, has always been a massive influence in my life. My father was I know I didn't tell you this before, but my father was a
Right.
referee, first division referee for several years in Portugal
Uh-huh.
football. Then he turned up to be a director in a local club here, so it had a massive influence for the addiction to sports in my life.
Right. Right. Nice to know. And
Yeah.
nice. So, yeah, tell us some more about the sporting culture in Portugal and your island. Of course, we know the great CR7. Cristiano is from there. So, why don't you tell us about the Portugal sporting culture?
Exactly, exactly. Ronaldo, the best of all times, is
Yes.
from Funchal. He's from the same city as I did.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I didn't play against him
Right.
because I'm a bit younger.
Right.
But I played also with the national team players
Uh-huh.
um, that went to played in Zenit, in Porto, in Sporting. Some did play and still play in Marítimo, like Edgar Costa was from my team,
Mm-hmm.
youth team. Listen, in Portugal, we have a massive sports culture and an addiction.
Wow.
You just see the our participation, for example, in football.
Right.
We have a current participation in the Champions League and the Euro League.
Right.
Throughout different sports, if we talk about sorry, I'm missing the words. The Olympic athletes.
Mm-hmm.
We have great athletes in athleticism, in basketball, in handball. We haven't achieved yet
Right.
massive results, but for example, in handball, we had a great result in the last Euro Championship.
Right.
And the culture is beyond being fan of just football. We play a lot of sports here since we are young, since young age. The culture itself from the schools, they try that the kids play as many different sports as they can.
Wow.
I can share with you, for example, besides from handball and football, I played tennis, I played basketball, I've played table tennis. Currently, I'm still amateur, but paddle player.
Right.
So as you can imagine, there's a wide variety of offers, and the mentality here from sporting culture is high, is massive. The government, either in Portugal and in Madeira, invest a lot to keep the kids out, away from home and the TV addiction and iPads addiction, and they want the kids on the pavilions and the fields and everything.
Wow.
To have a healthy lifestyle.
Right. Wow, that's very interesting, and no wonder. I mean, so many great players come from Portugal. You know, the government supports the players, and that's wonderful to hear. So,
Exactly.
Yeah. And okay, and why did you get into the business side of sports?
Okay. Well, as I said previously, in my family, there's a massive culture in sports.
Right.
My studies, I took a degree in Coimbra, a licensed degree in tourism, but I wasn't completely fulfilled. So I took a post-graduation in sports management in Oporto. I started working there as a youth director from Boa Vista. Then I wanted more, so I took another post-graduation in football director management. So I got invited to a professional club, a second division club, as a youth director. Then changed to a different club to be a sports director. Then again, but unfortunately, on 2015, the amount of promises and lack of agreement with the clubs, and they failed a lot of payments.
Right.
So I gave up the sporting side of the pitch and started focusing more on the business itself, on the reason why I turned into consulting and an advisory.
Right.
Because that's where I feel more safe. That's where I can take advantage of my experience and the culture itself. So I want to help others to achieve the best they can under whatever sporting business they are, as a participant, as an investor, as a director, as a coach, everything. I want to provide the best solution for everyone.
Right. That's great. And so talk to us about the consultancy part. Like, what are some of the common problems, and what do they need advice and guidance on?
Okay, in sports you have a lot of situations that can be handled.
Right.
I'll take, for example, a coach that needs to be transferred, and most of the time doesn't use consultancy. What happens is that most of the contracts aren't clear in both countries. For example, for legal issues, they don't fulfill the taxes payment, the discounts as we use it.
Right.
What has been, for example, most of the times agreed verbally under a contract situation, things change quickly.
Right.
Yeah, we need, as a consultant, we need to review every single step on whatever contract you do, either as a transfer to a different club, either as a sponsorship contract,
right.
Either as a shareholder acquisition or selling. We do both sides.
Right.
A sports consultant needs to know more about the business itself than about the game. That part we can leave to the agents. that still do a lot of mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But we focus more on the financial part and the evaluation,
Right.
and ensuring that the football stays legit and clear to
Mm-hmm.
everyone.
Interesting. So do you work with the lawyers, with the sports lawyers as well? Or are you
Yes,
the sports lawyers?
no, I don't. I'm not a sports lawyer. I'm
Right.
the sports advisory director from
Right.
Royal Tax and Royal Advisory. We do have our own legal department, so our own sports lawyer
Mm-hmm.
that do help throughout every single process.
Right.
I manage more the business side.
Mm-hmm.
The legal department faces and reviews all the legal details
Right.
on whatever type of contract we are signing in.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So when we come to talking about signing contracts, why don't you talk to us about club acquisition?
Okay, that's one.
Yeah.
That's one in Royal Sports and
Yeah.
Royal Advisory. That's one of our main targets, and honestly, the biggest focus in our company,
Mm-hmm.
which is club sale and acquisition.
Right.
What we do usually is that we review all the paperwork that the clubs present. Most of the
Right.
time, the balance sheet doesn't match with the information that we get.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the asset does not match with the information that we get. For example, sometimes it happens that the club, for example, gives us an idea that the stadium belongs to them, and it actually belongs to the city hall.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes they present that assets, not physical assets, but not physical assets as
Mm-hmm.
players.
Right.
As you can imagine, regarding the economic right of the players,
Right.
that's a big business that
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
most of the time is being discussed on the table.
Right.
And some of the players from the clubs have third parties involved, and it's not that good and it's not that clear, because sometimes a player has, for example, the club holds, for example, 50%, the agent another 30%, then a family member 10%,
Right.
then some friends hold 2% and 2%.
Right. Right.
And when you're talking about a club acquisition, that actually changes a lot the game, because the evaluation that I do for the fair amount to acquire the club, it can drop a lot if the facilities are not under the correct directions of the municipal board, or the legal construction hasn't been certified. If the fields are not proper to play under the UEFA legislation,
Right.
because the measures are very clear.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't have, for example, a certified health department,
Right.
meaning physiotherapist, the doctor, and all the equipment that they need to do, that part takes a big concern and makes a huge difference on the club acquisition.
Interesting. So many small details, and
Exactly.
yeah. And but what about when you're acquiring a club? What are some of the business factors? Of course, they look at the balance sheet, but when it comes to brand and of course profitability and all that. But what else do the people look at?
Okay. Depending on the client, let me tell you about the experience. I already had a client that
Right.
wanted a professional club,
Mm-hmm.
but they were focusing more on the marketing area.
Right.
Meaning that once this factor is so important to the customer,
Mm-hmm.
you need to see a bit of the background history.
Right.
Meaning, how long the club is playing on professional level,
Right.
the fan database, what kind of
Mm-hmm.
merchandising that they have and they
Right.
sell. And this makes a massive difference on acquisition. For example, a customer that only wants to hold the biggest amount of shares and
Right.
wants us to handle the management of the club is not worried about the brand itself.
Of course.
But on the other hand, a customer that is focused on the brand itself
Right.
usually asks for our financial evaluation, but doesn't ask us to make the management itself, because usually they have a specific plan to manage the club once it's acquired.
Right. And yeah, so that is why there's like, so much difference between, let's say, the owners of Manchester City and then the owners of, let's say, Arsenal. They have
Yeah,
completely different goals, right?
exactly. And you can notice in every single sports group. I'm pretty sure you know City main shareholders hold
Right.
other clubs,
Yeah.
Arsenal the same,
Right.
and so on and so on, PSG and everything.
Right.
You can see that within the clubs that they own, they have the same strategy. Not talking about just field strategy. It's not about the 4-3-3 or 4-4-2 situation, but regarding the communication, the
Right.
colors that they use, the type of equipment, the brand that they use, the fan commitment, and
Right.
that's personalizing the club that you acquire, the club or the clubs, and it makes difference because when you hold a club, especially a massive club, the ones that play in Champions League or Euro League, or even in Asia and Africa and America, main country leagues, you need to be sure that you are passing your own idea, your own concept. If you copy your neighbor, the results won't be the same.
Right.
You know?
Of course. You have to have your own DNA, your own identity.
Always. And it makes such a big difference because if you notice, for example, if you're a fan of a club and you notice that it's getting away from what the fans like or their opinion on, they don't host events for the fans, even a small dinner with the board for a fan base, it's huge.
Of course.
Or a showcase in a school to take to make the kids enjoy and appreciate more the club. It makes a difference. It's these things don't even cost money, but for a fan, it means the world to them.
Definitely.
Because football fans live for their clubs.
Right.
Forget the wives, forget their jobs, forget their careers, their loans, everything. Once you were born and you choose the club, it's your club for life. Definitely. It's more important than everything. I know I'm sounding extremist, but most of the sports fans live like this, you know?
Right. Of course. Yeah, I mean, George Best said it, right? And
exactly. So you need to have always and count always with your fans' support. Reason why all the events, all the decisions that you take as a stakeholder, a shareholder, it makes all the difference. A slight mistake can turn the fans against you, and that's the first step to ruin a sports project.
Sure.
It's not about how many millions of euros you have to invest on a club, but how you will invest it and how close you are to the fans.
Definitely. But then even over here, there's a balance, right? Because like if I'm sure you must also be a Manchester United fan because of Ronaldo. I don't know if you are or not, But you also
I follow his entire career.
great.
Wherever he is, I'm a fan.
Same here, same here. And yeah, so you must have noticed that, Manchester United, many times, like for the last 6, 7 years, they haven't made the right, player recruitment. So,
Exactly.
but they're doing, maybe they, bought Angel de Maria for the fans, and that might have not been the right recruitment. So they have to have a balance, right, between getting in the right players and getting the players that the fans want, right?
Exactly. You need to see that Angel Di Maria is not the best was not the best solution at the time, and it wasn't at all what the club needed.
Right.
And of course, the signing in of a player, it can be a massive discussion between the club owners and the fans. It's true, but
Right.
it cannot influence. It cannot have influence on the game.
Of course.
If you focus on between the lines, between the fields, if the player brings results, the fans will not turn against you. Let me give you an example. I don't know if you've seen Bruno Fernandes since he signed for Manchester United.
Yes.
Listen, the club, even the colleagues are feeling a struggle to play with him, because his level and intelligence makes them play twice as they were doing previously.
Right.
And listen, if you went in December to talk with the fans, nobody would sign the player.
Right.
But now I'm pretty sure he's the loved player of Manchester.
Definitely. I mean, even we were like really skeptical because we usually want the star players all the time, right? And of course,
Exactly.
Bruno was really good, but he wasn't like a star attraction, like compared to, let's say, Gareth Bale, or he wasn't at the top.
Exactly.
Right. And yeah, okay. So since we're on this, what about financial fair play? Even these clubs, even though they have such big budgets and they have all the best lawyers and consultants, why do they still end up making these financial fair play mistakes?
Okay, let me tell you something. I'm going to be a lot of controversial here,
Sure.
Sid.
No.
But to be honest, financial fair play, it's a false move from FIFA, because you see something. The financial fair play, if you think about it, there's no way you can compare a club, Manchester City club, for example, with a balance sheet of 1,000 million. I'm just saying, throwing numbers.
Right.
And compare Sunderland. Now it's in third division, but even if they were in first division, in Premier League, you cannot compare those numbers.
Sure.
You cannot say that the clubs need to have maximum amount to invest and maximum amount of debts. Football itself, listen, the game is beautiful, but the game behind the scenes, it's dirt.
Right.
It's difficult, it's corrupt. The corruption comes within the members,
right,
the UEFA and FIFA members. I'm sorry to make this accusation, but it's true. Yeah. Between the clubs, and the intermediaries and agents have some fault on it. Right. So the financial fair play, for me, sorry, my friend, it's not a real situation. It's for the countries itself to themselves to have a bit more control of the amounts that are entering and leaving the countries.
Right.
Nothing else than that.
Right. But I mean, Manchester City is in big trouble now because of this, and we don't even know. Maybe they, with the officials, they may pay them off and probably get back to the Champions League. Who knows?
Listen, both of us know that rarely a big club from any country, except in Italy, that already happened.
Right.
Rarely they are fined, and well, usually they are fined maximum, but they don't descend from the main league to a second or third
Definitely.
league.
Right.
It's rare because of the financial influence, financial power, and the political influences that the club and the shareholders have in their own countries and where they participate. As you know, such clubs hold 6, 7, 8 clubs throughout the world.
Right.
If one enters to a bankruptcy situation or faces legal problems, for them it's the crash of the century.
Right.
And they won't allow it.
Right.
It's football, it's a beautiful game, but behind the scene, not that beautiful. So let me tell you that honestly, nothing usually happens to those clubs.
Interesting. So yeah, I mean, I feel bad listening to this because we don't like city, so but yeah.
I know, but I'm very, very always straight and honest with my answers.
Of course. Thank you for that.
You're
Anyway,
welcome.
why don't we talk about sponsorship now? What is your role in that?
Okay, regarding sponsorship, we as a company, as Royal Tax and Royal Sports, we do by ourselves sponsor some handball clubs in second division and some football clubs in fourth division.
Okay.
We do that because we identify with the clubs itself. But talking about our clients, when they are looking to sponsor a club, first of all, they want a specific club. And we need to ensure that there's a vacancy to that club.
Right.
Because, sponsorship has different ways to negotiate. On the even on the jersey makes a lot of difference. It's in the front, in the back. It's if it's a small or big. If it's a stadium sponsorship, if it's a seat sponsorship, if it's in the training complex, even if it's in the bus, all of those types of sponsorship have different amounts and different type of negotiations.
Right.
What we need to do as advisors, usually we need to ensure that the club and the brand have the same vision. For one simple reason, Sid. I know you know some cases. For example, if a club faces legal positions for gambling or having influence on the result, that means that every single brand that it's attached to it faces consequences. The brand lowers its value on the market.
Definitely.
That's one of the biggest concerns that we always have when we have a request for a sponsorship.
Right.
Apart from that, the amounts usually the club has a different vision than the advisor, and the advisor has a different vision than the client itself.
Right.
So, for you to have an idea, a sponsorship deal can take up to a year to be completed.
Oh.
I don't know if you have this vision. It's not just throwing money at the club and say, listen, we want to sponsorship Manchester United for 2 years.
Right.
Front the entire front of the jersey, and let's do this. Or let's change the Old Trafford name, and we're ready. No, it has several clauses, cancellation fees, in case of legal problems, or bad behaviors from the players that are attached to the brand that can take an influence on the value of the brand itself.
Right.
You know, you have to evaluate every single detail before signing a final contract.
Right. Right. I had a very interesting question. I don't know if you'd be able to answer this.
Yeah,
I'll just give the example of Manchester United. So, you know, DHL is a big sponsor of United, right?
exactly.
Does the brand or the sponsor have any control in who the club hires as manager or players?
Well, Sid, honestly, it shouldn't.
Okay, so
But
why
you
I asked, yeah, I'll just follow up to this question. Why I asked this is because, you know, DHL has been a very big sponsor for Manchester United. And, you know,
exactly,
with their brand, it's like fast delivery and fast logistics, right?
exactly.
But then they have hired two managers, Louis Van Gaal and Jose Mourinho, who do not play,
Yes,
who do not play really, you know, fast football. They play, let's say, you can say defensive or slow football. And
yes.
do you think that that must have obviously taken a hit on the brand image of DHL, right?
It does. It doesn't affect directly because, as I'm sure you know, both managers did not have bad behavior outside the pitch.
Right,
They didn't get the results. It's
right.
true. Even Jose Mourinho is an amazing coach, but
Of course.
uh, didn't get the results. It can. I'll get back to the first question.
Hmm.
Uh, if Jose Mourinho was getting the results
Right.
that United wants and
Hmm.
all the fans want,
Right.
Jose Mourinho, even if he didn't have any connections with the sponsorship,
Right.
with the main sponsor,
Right.
if in the next season even if he won the championship, DHL or whatever sponsorship it would come would have influence on the hire of the new manager for a
Okay.
simple reason. A sponsorship um, does invest a lot on the club.
Right.
Usually they have influence within the inside decision.
Hmm.
They shouldn't, but they do.
Right. Right. So, yeah, so I asked this because of obviously the style of play and the brand, because they're complete opposites, right? And that is why I had this question.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. No, it made perfect sense, the question.
Right. Thanks. So, okay, you've worked a lot on career management as well, right? With people like
Exactly.
players, managers. So why don't you talk to us about that?
Okay. We don't, as I told you, Rail Sports doesn't work as an agent, but as an advisor.
Okay.
We do intermediate a lot of managers and players. Regarding players, what we do usually is we do visit a lot of countries, especially Nigeria, Ghana, Brazil, Colombia, to check on the players.
Right.
Then, if they're good enough, we try to present to the agents, to the EU certified agents,
Mm-hmm.
and help them progress.
Okay.
Within managers, it's different. The managers usually use the advisors to check on the legal issues, on the financial issues, and to see if the project itself is reliable or trustworthy or not. As you can
Right.
imagine,
Right.
some of the countries aren't basically supervised. Talking about financial clearance and
Mm-hmm.
the fair play that you told most of the countries don't even have.
Right.
Reason why they come to us and ask for our support. I can mention, for example, Ricardo Muniz, used to be a Leipzig coach, has been in Salzburg, Excelsior, amazing country, FC Eindhoven, for example. And he always asks my opinion before signing in whatever club he has a proposal.
Right. Okay. Wow. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So interesting. And do you also work on their lives after they're done with their football or handball career?
Yes. Oh, let me get back. I forgot to mention that also in handball we do career management.
Yes.
Especially with the Cuban players and Brazilian players. We help them come to Europe to play in the big leagues because a lot of talent are hidden in these countries, not only in football but in handball. Sure. Especially in Cuba, amazing players, but the league itself is so weak and their salaries are so low that they are willing to come to Europe and fulfill their dreams. Regarding your end of career management, yes, we do. As you can imagine, especially players, not only EU players, but Southern American, African players, they spend their life playing. They don't study. They don't have qualifications.
Right.
They even don't know how to manage their own salary, money, and the houses that they get and everything. So we do advise in what kind of during their career, what kind of investments they need to do, what type of savings, how to manage the sports career also, of course. Right. But we focus on post-football life, of course. Once a career is over and they ask for our advice, one of the first things that we do is check on what kind of courses they can enter. For example,
right.
Sports management, to get them graduate. We have several partnerships within, for example, the Hague University, Brussels University, in Portugal with Qualificar School, and also with the RIMA. We have a great relationship, and we try to provide as much qualifications as we can for the players. Right. Be honest, it's hard for them psychologically to get over the fact that they cannot play any longer. Yeah. So it's different. We need to push a lot for them to provide as much psychological help as possible. Right. And even financial. There are some type of players that usually spend more than they earn in their career, and we need to provide them some help, financial help for the courses to start the new life. And we advise on everything. If they like more the economic area, if they like the health, for example, to become a physiotherapist or a physiotherapist assistant, sports director, bank worker, everything. We try to advise them on what path they need to do, they need to follow, or they should follow. Sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't listen. You know, the friends and family have a big influence on everyone, especially within the football players. So it's difficult, but doable, and already have some successful cases. So I'm happy with the work.
That's great. And I mean, yeah, what all you can do is give them the best advice possible, and then it's their decision, right, at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So you've also worked on a lot of social projects, with football and handball. So why don't you share some of your initiatives and stories with us? You worked, I guess you had gone to Ghana and Nigeria.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We do have social projects
Mm-hmm.
in several countries. The first one started last year in Nigeria, in the city of Lagos, then in Aba. What we do basically is the academies that do invite us to go there to help them grow. I'm sure you're aware that, for example, in Nigeria, there's a massive, massive difference, socially and financially speaking, between the poor and the extremely wealth.
Right.
Even the wealthy people there, unfortunately, don't know how to invest on the club or the academies, as they say there, and they need our assistance.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I mentioning this? For a simple fact. Usually, we get hired. We go to the cities
Mm-hmm.
for a club, and we ask to stay a few more days to help the local community. That's why we call it the social projects. What we do is we go to the academies, see what kind of infrastructure they have or they don't have,
Right.
the method of training and playing that they have, what kind of players, how's their education level, what they are doing to improve. If they don't have education level, we provide the courses to the teachers to assist them to teach the best way to help these players evolve as a citizen and as a professional. We do take some managers with us to help with the training situation.
Right.
And that's basically it. In Accra, the same situation. Unfortunately, for this 2020 year, we had still have, but on hold, of course, projects in India, in China, and in Colombia. Exactly the same sites. In Europe, I would like to talk to you about our new project.
Sure.
It's a transnational project between Portugal, the Netherlands, and Belgium. In the Netherlands, we have a partner from sports networking in The Hague. We are working with the Hague Sports University in Brussels, with the Brussels Sports University, and in Portugal with Qualificar and with the RIMA. These are the partners of the transnational project.
Okay.
What we are doing with this project is inclusion with sports, meaning we are focused on helping people that are socially excluded, such as immigrants, people facing financial difficulties, social difficulties, had family problems, all kind of problems that they might have. And we work with youth, young people from ages of 16 up to 29. The concept of the project is we provide free courses from the two universities and the school here in Portugal. We provide free courses to everyone that signs in, zero cost. The courses are in sports management, in nutrition, in health, and in social areas.
Wonderful.
Apart from the courses, we offer, once again for free, training sessions between 10 sports: football, futsal, how to say it in English? I'm missing the word. Beach soccer, sorry, handball, basketball, paddle, swimming, athleticism, gymnastic, and I'm missing another sport. It doesn't matter. What we do is regular training sessions and at least one competition in 3 years. Wow. The tournaments are held at the same time in the 3 different countries, same way as the courses are being
Right.
in the three countries at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
As you can imagine, it's a massive logistic.
Wow.
We are planning to hit at least 3,000 people, to help at least 3,000 people to improve their skills, either academic skills, sportive skills, social skills, health care, and we're providing everything. Sid, to be honest, the original thinker, or the person that came up with this idea, is a fellow company, fellow person from India. His name is Neil. He did invite Royal Tax and Royal Advisory to manage the project in Portugal. And we were more than delighted to accept it and to manage. To be honest, the sports business is great, indeed. Right. But when you can help others with your work, it's more fulfilling than the income that you get from your work. Definitely. When you see the smiles on the kids' face, right, when they have basically nothing to wear, nothing to eat, and right, they graduate, and they can work, or they can go to a club, or they can play sports that they never played. This is the great feeling. And honestly, it's one of the paths that we follow and keep investing in our company.
Incredible. Hats off to you guys, and you're doing an amazing job, and we're so proud of you. And well done, and hope you keep growing bigger and helping more people with these social projects.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So, yeah, to sum it up, the last segment, you work on the summer breaks and winter breaks along with the clubs. Like, why don't you tell us about that?
Okay. What we do is, most of the countries, even in Europe, don't have the same calendar. Right. For example, the northern countries have a winter break, and right, they cannot stop at all from the competition. Reason why we've decided to arrange the winter breaks for them, meaning that we have camps, we rent camps and accommodation in Portugal, southern of Portugal, southern of Spain, and in the Netherlands also. But usually these clubs look more for the southern part of Europe. Right. They prepare their own schedule, how many trainings they want to do, how many and what kind of clubs they want to face. For example, they want within a week they want to have 5 training sessions and 2 matches, right? Such as facing one Premier League club and one second league club, and we organize everything. Since the accommodation, the feeding process, which is extremely important, they have to follow a strict plan prepared by the club. We take care of the sporting facilities, the accommodation regarding with the rules, right, and the distance that the club requires. We have technical assistance if they need all the material, sporting and medical material needed. Everything is settled. For summer breaks, we usually work with African and Southern American clubs. Right. They do fancy to do the pre-season in Europe, especially in Portugal, in Algarve. Right. And it's exactly the same thing. Apart from the organizing the training activities, we also include some cultural activities for them to get to know a bit of the local culture, which is important, because it's not only the sports activity that is important and relevant for the local companies. a player that comes and does enjoy his stay probably will return with the family and recommend to their friends.
Definitely.
And that's also important to help the local economies to grow.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, I mean, culture is such an important part. And, you know, even one photo on Instagram about the players putting one photo can encourage so many people to visit that place, right?
Exactly, exactly. Even the communication of the training camps is done if requested by us, or
Yeah.
if not, we do an outsourcing for the communication also, which is, as you said, extremely important. One image is worth more than 1,000 words.
Sure.
So yeah, we do. We are quite aware of that and the importance of the impact that it might have on the local economy.
Right. That's great. That's great. So, all right, Andre, I don't want to take too much more of your time. And so I'll let you go over here. Thank you so much for this incredible interview and for sharing your insights, your experiences, and your work with your company.
Thank you so much, Sid. On behalf of Royal Tax, Royal Advisory, and Royal Sports, I would like to thank once again. And let's have a chat real soon, Sid.
Sure, sure. And
Okay.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And Andre, also, why don't you help our listeners know where they can find you and know more details about your company? Why don't you share with
Oh,
us? Yeah.
of of course, of course. You can find more information on royaladvisory.pt. Just check the page. You can see what we do on the different areas. Royal Advisory for specific management and acquisition. On Royal Sports, of course, the name says it all. And of course, in Royal Estate, where you can see what kind of work we do in the real estate area. Please feel free to add me on LinkedIn or on the social media. My name is André Encarnacao. I know it's a different name, so I'm pretty sure you'll find it.
Yeah, so I will have all these links on the show notes, and so guys, whoever's interested, wants any advice, have any projects in mind that Andre and his company can be involved in, please feel free to directly get in touch.
Thank you
Also,
so
yeah,
much.
yeah. So Andre, thank you so much, and take care.
Thank you. Cheers. All the best for everyone. Let's keep safe.
Thank you.
Please, if your country is under massive heat, don't take any chances. Let's control this virus. Let's pray a bit and hope that this will be over soon and we can get our lives back. All the best for everyone.
Hopefully, yes. Thank you, Andre. Thank you for your kind words.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.